What's a normal thing that makes you strangely sad? When my daughter would receive a gift that wasn't a good fit. We both, are not materialistic, and she was always grateful and polite. When I would see a gift a loved one bought for her, that they obviously spent some time and money on but missed the mark, I would just feel an overwhelming wave of sadness that they didn't know her as well as I did. I'm sure I too have given her things she didn't care for, but she would rarely let me know. It is probably normal to feel sad about this, but the depth of my feelings seems way out of proportion. Farewell/goodbye. Balloons and flowers. They deflate or die. Having to throw away trash that has happy children on the packaging. Looking ahead at the calendar on my phone to years I won't exist. Seeing a dog get left in the car even though the window is down and has air conditioning. Seeing a couple have a problem, even a very small one. When older ladies are nice to me and call me baby or something like that. It reminds me of my grandma who passed years ago. Cuddling with my cat. She looks fairly old, we brought her in off the streets so we don't know how old she is, and it just reminds me of how the moment won't last forever and soon I won't have a cat that loves me as much as she does. When I see a kid clutching a stuffed animal, my brain sometimes gets sad thinking about what they would feel if they lost that stuffed animal. I saw a picture of a Joey, baby kangaroo, in Australia that was given a teddy bear during rescue efforts, and he was seen in the wild weeks later still hanging onto the bear. I almost cried at that because I feel that inevitably one day he will lose his teddy bear and not understand why it's gone. The departure of the birds in autumn. It always makes my heart feel heavy seeing the geese and cranes in their V position in the sky, calling for others to join them. It makes me feel abandoned, as absurd as that sounds. I am also full of worry, some of the birds on the sky will not make the passage and I mourn those kind of in advance. Also the lack of noise after the swallows are gone is haunting. My morning commute is so quiet then. My only company are my steps on the pavement and my breath that is caught by the scarf around my neck. But man oh man do I want to shout _out _of _joy when I hear the cranes arriving in early spring. And seeing the swallows return and inspect their nests. They remind me of old neighbors who come to summer in their second home, so you have a whole summer in front of you to play with their children and their dog. Maybe not normal everywhere, but I see it a lot. As a rancher's son, it makes me very sad to see a horse that's turned out in someone's yard and never gets rode. Horses aren't like dogs or cats, they need a purpose. Horses aren't happy being yard ornaments. Deleted. Selfies with inspiration quotes on Instagram. I can't help but to feel a bit sad. So many people are starving for attention. I just see it as insecurity and looking for validation. Finishing a book or a book series. I become so emotionally attached to the characters that I'm not ready to let them go. I have to proper psych myself up when it comes to starting a new book, 'cause I'm still mourning the last one. Coco the gorilla losing her beloved kitty all ball when the kitty got loose and was hit by a near passing car. When I see an old guy or girl coughing, I know it's weird. Watching old home videos of when I was a kid makes me reminisce about those simpler times, and I feel sad that I can't ever go back. Spotify. Like the actual app. No idea why. When someone on a game show gets a question wrong, even though they sometimes play it off, I still feel so bad for them. Waking or driving through the suburbs. It's always felt sad to me. Everyone in their own little bubble. I am aware I sound like an emo kid lol. Families with lots of children. It is something I always wanted and will never have. Also, bright sunny days make me sad and depressed. Their sunlight is so harsh. Zoos. These amazing animals are there either because they're being exploited, or because their species is in decline. Seeing my little sister doing normal teen things like going Mackies or sleepovers or the cinemas with her friends. We never had the money to do that stuff when I was her age, but I'm glad our parents do now. Children's toys abandoned or just in general. Kids' toys make me real sad for no good reason. Seeing homeless people not just because they don't have a home, but mostly because they have nobody else to turn to for help. I always think they don't have any family or friends to take them in and help them. The misery and failure of others. It's like I see stuff that almost has to happen, but it still makes me sad even when it happens right in front of me. I hate not being able to help. Couples doing couple stuff, and I don't even mean PDA. The amount of plastics I need to throw away after every time I've done groceries. I use a different garbage can to collect paper and plastics separately, so I can clearly see how much plastics supermarkets are using. When I was in school, substitute teachers that wore fun ties with cartoon characters and stuff on them made me really sad. Like envisioning kids being mean to someone trying so hard. Auld Lang Syne. Degrassi ending. The franchise has been around for multiple decades and I've watched every single episode of every series. The thing with Degrassi is you see the characters grow up through each series. It's so cool how you can watch the teenagers grow to adults and get jobs and start families and have kids, and then the show starts following on the kids' life and so on. I spent so much time watching that show, and when it was over I didn't know what to do with myself. Flushed face. Goldfinches. My dear father-in-law was famous for his goldfinch feeders. After he died, I bought one. As much as I enjoy seeing the birds, it's bittersweet because of the loss. I'll be a mother-in-law next May, and they'll be getting a feeder as well. Seeing empty houses that are falling in on themselves, abandoned and covered in vines and vegetation. All I can think is, this was once someone's dream. Someone worked hard to bring this house into existence, probably sacrificed and scrimped and saved. And here it is, a pile of rubble. It always makes me sad. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. That song will make me cry as a full-grown woman. Anything sad to do with children, particularly a sad parent/child story, like a parent who's trying to provide for their kids but for whatever reason life is pushing back. Bonus points if there's something along the lines of the kid trying to make things better or being hopeful but they just don't understand the situation. I've always been a very paternal sort of guy, so that sort of thing gets me instantly. I see it in media a lot, of course, but it's exponentially worse in real life. Older dogs in an animal shelter. Well, really any animal in a shelter. They had a family and owners that they loved, and for whatever reason they're in the animal shelter and don't understand why. Whenever I see a fight, I always think about how the person getting their ass kicked was once a kid and the fact that they have parents and siblings who care about them. I always imagine what it'd feel like to see that being one of my siblings. Roadkill. I just think of their little squirrel families wondering why they're so late coming home. Frown. Seeing older immigrants in low-wage jobs reminds me of my parents/family members who left their country to move here and provide their children with a better life. Frown. Thinking about my childhood and my teenage years. Thinking about summer vacation and those long days of just enjoying the weather and being with friends. Thinking about how I will never experience that feeling of summer vacation ever again and how seeing my friends is so much more difficult and rare. A domesticated animal dead alongside the road. Was it someone's pet? A feral animal? I used to date a stage actress. I loved theater and did some community theater shows just for fun. It was a pretty happy and healthy relationship for several years. We both had some rough times in our lives. We both went to a pretty bad place mentally, started arguing frequently, and we had a fairly bad breakup. I don't know if you can put the blame squarely on either of us, but by saying that I'm admitting it is at least partially my fault, if not mostly my fault. I can't listen to musicals the same way I used to. They remind me of the good times that I don't have anymore and that I will never have again. I also haven't seen anything on stage since. People wearing chokers. Edit, it's very uncomfortable. When in movies they waste food. Like I remember one scene where they were having dinner and somebody threw the plate very dramatically and all the pasta spilled everywhere. I always think someone spent time cooking this. What a shame. See. Dropped food skeptical. That people are okay with factory farming. When you see an old person shuffling along with their old dog, I always wonder which will go first, leaving the other alone. Sad now. Seeing elderly people out eating alone.